We are just an advanced breed of monkeys on a minor planet of a very average star.
Did you know you're advanced breed of monkeys? Hannah.
That makes us something very special.
Pour up.
Really, the fundamental, ultimate mystery, the only thing you need to know to understand its deepest of metaphysical secrets is this: that for every outside,
there is an inside. Yeah, duh. Hannah. Get old, Hannah. Getting old, baby. You're almost 12 years old. You and Cesar are almost 12 years old. Yes, you is. Yes, you is. Aren't you, girl? Okay, so this morning, I had pretty good experience. Now, I went to bed early, but I still didn't feel like getting up at 7 or 6:50 or whatever. So I didn't get up till like 7:15. Which that's kind of pushing it. But I just come home on my lunch break and clean up after the cats and everything. But, okay, so this morning, basically, I was renting, okay, it was me, okay, let me write that down. My grandma came later. My grandma moved in later. But at first, it was me and this, like, gay-looking girl that I've seen before or knew from a long time ago or whatever. And the Mr. Fix-It guy that just came to fix my fence, Joel it didn't look like him 100%, but that's who Joel was trying to sort of copy off of, was the Mr. Fix-It guy. Because this guy, he was older though in the scenario. He was a much older guy, real skinny, and his, making animated, facial, smirks and smiles and stuff in the scenario. So basically Joel was trying to copy off that Mr. Fix-It guy. So it was basically, but I know he kind of looked like some other people I've seen too. I just can't think of who they are right now. I know he was trying to copy off some other people that I've seen, either movies or real life. But anyway, I know one of the guys he was trying to copy off of was the Mr. Fix-It guy. So basically in the scenario, he made a guy that kind of looked similar to him and like 2 to 3 other guys that I've seen before in my life or whatever. And that guy seemed to be like, he was easily 76 or 77. So we all moved into this apartment. Me and that gay looking chick that she was pretty young. Probably about 30 or mid 20s or something like that. And then me. And it was like we moved into this apartment. It's like we all were going to be roommates. And this scenario, it's a pretty long scenario. And basically the whole apartment at first, was just kind of shaped like this. There was the big, huge king bed that we all slept in. But at times we all slept in this king bed. But there was also a couch right here that that girl was sleeping in at times, or taking naps or whatever. Okay, so at first I you know, like we were all in the apartment. I remember the guy kind of was looking at me several times, like a couple feet away, and his expressions on his face were all dramatic, comical, animated, whatever you want to call it. And I know this part was kind of weird, but Joel didn't really say where I was at, and this, you know, where the apartment was at. But one part of the scenario, it's like I somehow knew that we were kind of close to Silver Dollar City. And at one point, like, I knew we were going to go visit Silver Dollar City. And I did have that on the brain a few days ago. But Joel didn't specifically program it to where, you know, I knew that I was in Branson or anything. But, okay, so at first we went into the apartment, and I was walking around observing. And of course, I noticed the king bed, and many times I was straightening up the king bed, and it all seemed to be white sheets, white comforter and everything, which I could see why Joel would do that, because I've been sleeping in that front bedroom, and the comforter is all white. And several times I straightened up the bed, and then this other part is kind of weird. At one point, the girl decided she was going to go out of the apartment, like go shopping or whatever she was going to do. And there was this, like, it was weird. It was, at first, it kind of looked like some kind of dummy. When she left, it's almost like when people sleep with stuffed animals. I used to sleep with stuffed animals all the time when I was little, and I used to pretend like they were alive. Like to this day. Like that turtle, I pretend like it's alive. And like it's even looking at me like it's alive or something. But I used to do that a lot when I was little. I used to sleep like with all these stuffed animals all around me, and I used to pretend like they were alive. And but anyway, so like in the scenario, she had left, and okay, so it seemed like there was only one entry door and exit door, or the entrance to the apartment seemed to be over here. So she left, and I think I was going over here to like straighten up the couch or something. And then all of a sudden I noticed this big, it was as big as like a 10-year-old, this stuffed animal looking thing, but at first it seemed to be kind of like alive, and then it kind of turned into like an alien looking thing, and it kind of shrunk up in size and kind of turned like whitish looking. But at first it was like a what do you call it, like a dummy, what's that called, like a, like what you see at department stores, what are they called? Mannequin, like a dummy mannequin type of thing, a stuffed animal type of thing. But it wasn't a stuffed animal. It was more like a dummy mannequin type of thing that was almost the size of the couch. And then I like set it back down, and that's when it shapeshifted into like a more smaller, whitish, skinnier, alien looking thing. Semi-alive, but semi-dead. And it was I placed it was facing that direction. And then when I picked it up and put it back down, I mean, at first it was like a stuffed animal type of thing. I mean, like a mannequin dummy type of thing. And then, like I say, it was already facing that direction. And then when I picked it up and set it back down, and in the scenario, at first I was like kind of confused, because I was thinking, is that like her girlfriend or something? But it couldn't have been, because it was just kind of like semi-alive, semi-dead. mannequin looking thing, but when I picked it up and set it back down, like I say, it kind of shrunk up and kind of got skinnier, kind of whitish, and it kind of looked more like an alien, like a gray little alien or something. So that part was kind of weird. Okay, so then as I started to, the scenario was fun, and I have scenarios like this over and over and over and over again, and they're like such a blast. And so as I started walking around the apartment, I noticed. Okay, no, wait, hold on. The door. Hold on. Let me place the door over here. Okay, so because this all part I'm gonna get to in a minute. This whole part, I'll get to that in a minute. But so as I started walking around, I noticed 3 refrigerators. Okay, there's one refrigerator like up against this wall. There was like another one over here, and there was another one over here. And I'm like, okay, why didn't the landlord take all this crap out of here, you know? I was kind of like worried, like, I don't know if I want that. I don't know if I want to live with these other 3 refrigerators just sitting here. They were, you know, they weren't my refrigerators. They were from the previous tenants. And so at first I was kind of like nervous, like, I don't know if I want these staying here with me, you know, the whole time, you know, we leased this apartment. The refrigerators were very, very old looking. They were not, I mean, they were like I'll say like 35-year-old looking, or maybe even 40-year-old looking refrigerators. And then I thought, well, you know, I have all this space, you know, we still had all this space. And I thought, okay, well, you know, maybe I don't need to have them removed. Maybe I can live with them. And and I think I did open up these refrigerators, and I think I forgot, you know, what I saw or whatever. That part I think I'm forgetting, but I'm not forgetting opening up this refrigerator. So when I came to this refrigerator over here, I opened it up, and there was just a whole bunch of gross food and everything left. Okay, hold on. My memory's trying to come back because this was all very, very detailed. And already, since so many hours has passed, I forgot some of the intricate details in that refrigerator, and inside of here. But I do remember one thing I saw, and I saw some salad. You know, some like a package of salad, but there, it was pretty much crammed full of food and everything, and it was all, oh yeah, see, I know, god damn it, I'm forgetting a lot of shit, a lot of the details, a lot of stuff that was in the refrigerator, because I was looking at all the intricate items that were left behind, and I kept thinking to myself, well, I think I could go ahead and eat that and eat this and eat that. And I did eat one item. And I'm like, well, I didn't get sick. But I can't remember what it was. See, I wouldn't have forgotten. If I would have quickly write stuff down right when I get up, I wouldn't have forgotten. But there was a bunch of intricate little food items that I honed in on. And I was thinking to myself, okay, I don't know how old all this stuff is. But I knew it was old, but I had ate one thing, and I was like, okay, well, I didn't get sick, so I'll go ahead and eat all the other stuff. And I know where Joe got that from, because that in that abandoned video a couple of days ago, in the cupboard, there was this whole bunch of food and stuff. And I even saw like some hot dogs. It's like, why would you put hot dogs in a cupboard? But I don't know exactly. I didn't see exactly what it was, but it looked like a hot dog package. But it may have been something else that looked like hot dogs, but it said Oscar Mayer or something on it. But it was in a dry cupboard. And so I know Joel copied off of that. And I know, as far as I remember, I think there was some hot dog packages in here and some like salad. And I know there was a million other things too that I totally remembered. And I know I did open up these refrigerators and saw some stuff. I just can't remember now. But the king bed, it's like we all pretty much, slept on this king bed, except sometimes that girl slept on the couch or took naps on the couch or whatever. And, like, nothing was, like, sexual or anything in the scenario, which I'm kind of surprised. But yeah, it's like we were all roommates, and we all moved in to be roommates in this apartment. And this is exactly how it was laid out. Like, here's the front door. There was and eventually we were going to move more stuff in. I mean, this was all empty space, except for those 3 refrigerators that was left behind by the landlord and the tenants. And the landlord didn't move any of them out of the apartment. And that was the one where I honed in on a whole bunch of items, food items. And here was the king bed. And okay, so the 4th person, my grandma moved in. God damn it, I know I'm going to be forgetting a bunch of stuff. My grandma moved in, and she moved in to this whole 1/3 of the apartment. And it was pretty much just all a wall. This was her whole side of the apartment. This whole 1/3 of the apartment was all hers. And okay, so my grandma moves in, and she was in the scenario. I did see glimpses of her several times. And I think I saw glimpses of my mom, but if I did, my mom was just visiting. So my grandma is the 4th person that moved in with us. And the reason why she moved in was because she was getting older and she didn't want to live by herself. And so she had to sell her big old house. And she moved everything, like everything from her 2,300 square foot house into this, we'll just say it's this long piece of the apartment, we'll say it's 550 square feet. And she moved everything in her it may have even been about 2,400 square feet, her real house. And so in the scenario, basically her 2,400 square feet house, she had to move everything out, and she shoved it. She put everything in her space, 550 square feet space. And when I looked around, I mean, it was just all cluttery. I mean, cluttery all the way around it. Clutter. I mean, we could still walk, in the middle part and everything, but it was just nothing but clutter. And the stove was over, there was some sinks and like another stove over here. And this is where I remember my mom was standing. And then there was another stove right here. And this is all very detailed and intricate. I mean, very, very vivid when I saw everything. But I mean, just clutter all the way around it. And like her section was completely blocked off, by a wall. So there must have been a door, but I can't, remember where the door was. But the door, we'll pretend like the door was right here. But this whole section was my grandma's pad. This is where she lived. And it's kind of like she was going to sort of live, separately from us. Because it was all blocked off, by a door. By a wall. So this was going to be her apartment, sort of like within the apartment. Because all three of us lived in this whole area. And then my grandma's just one person, and she has this whole area to herself. And this is the funny part. When I do remember this part. When I looked down on the stoves, she was cooking 3 pots of food on top of the stove, and they were all boiling and everything. And one of the pots was it was like tomato sauce and rice and chicken, and it looked really, really, really good. And then she was cooking like 2 other pots of stuff. But one of them was like rice, chicken, and some kind of tomato sauce. And big old, not crock pots, but, big old pots on the stove. Like she had 1 pot cooking right there, 2 pots here. And I was just kind of looking at it, and I was just like, wow, it looks good and everything, but I knew I couldn't eat it. Because I knew I couldn't eat rice. But it was just hilarious. I mean, it was fun. And, but yeah, I saw glimpses of my grandma at least 3 or 4 times. And a glimpse of my mom at least once. And, but anyway, it was a fun experience. What else was I going to say? Yeah, well, next time, I think I'm going to do that. I think right when I get up, I'm going to try to jot stuff down. Fast. But anyway, but like I say, I know Silver Dollar City was not far away. And we were about to eventually, visit Silver Dollar City within the next 2 or 3 days or whatever. And we rented this apartment, I mean, for a long time, a good year or whatever. All 3 of us. And then, like I say, my grandma moves in. And I don't remember if she was going to pay rent or whatever or not. But us 3 were going to. But the funny part was, I mean, clutter. I mean, all the way around it. All the way around. Nothing but her stuff. Clutter. A bunch of clothes, boxes of clothes, and dressers and shit. Tables, plants and stuff all the way around it. Clutter, piled up, But, it was still all walkable in the middle. And, but which is kind of funny because in real life, there's no way my grandma could have lived like that. My grandma was very OCD, like me and my mom, and she did not live like that. So no way in hell would she have ever lived like that. So that part was kind of funny. And, damn it, I just remember what I wish I would remember all the intricate items that I saw, because I know I saw some stuff in there, and a few items might come back to me, and in that refrigerator, but it just kind of perturbed me, because I'm very OCD too, and if I move into an apartment, I don't want to see 3 old refrigerators sitting there in my apartment. I don't want to live with 3 refrigerators from the previous tenants. You know what I'm saying? So Joel just did that to annoy me. But like I say, after a while, I was thinking, well, I have all this space over here, space right there, all this space. And I was thinking, okay, well, maybe they'll be fine. They won't really be in my way, And too, I do remember thinking, I knew some of this stuff smelled pretty bad. I don't remember, in this particular scenario, I didn't actually smell anything, but I had the thought of odors, if that makes sense. Like in the scenario, I didn't physically smell anything, but I mentally smelled some stuff. I know that sounds weird, but yeah, and the refrigerator's kind of, what do you call that? Platinum looking, silverish, old dingy metal looking, but I mean, they look like they were 45 years old. All 3 of them. Well, no, one of them was actually kind of brownish, silverish. And the other ones, they were just gross and old. And like I say, I was in the scenario long time, many hours, maybe even days, and like I say, I do remember straightening up the bed many times, and that guy, man, that skinny ass guy, just with these weird, like animated smirks on his face and stuff. Our roommate or whatever, he was just kind of weird. But he wasn't a pervert or anything. It was, none of it was sexual or anything like that, or pervertedness or anything like that. But it was a fun scenario. Thanks for listening.